Faith Church, hope you are well today. Had an experience the other day where I went on my news feed and it's just catching up on the news for the day, and maybe it's always like this, but it just for whatever reason caught my attention that there was just one story after another that was just bad news. In fact, I started to think, is there anything on here that's good news? And there was nothing. The entire feed, just things in our own nation, our world, just a lot of it coronavirus, all sorts of things. And I just turned it off. Maybe not want to look at the news for a while. And it's important to stay up on the news, but we're surrounded by, these days, lots of things that are just discouraging. If you look at the landscape of our whole world. And then I read Psalm 122 this morning. I don't know if you had a chance to read that today. If you haven't and are watching this today, even if you're not, whatever day it is, I encourage you to read that psalm. It's one of those psalms that's just brutally honest. The psalmist doesn't hold back. He just writes what's on his mind and heart before God. I think as prayer should be. He just lays it open there. Eugene Peterson, in his paraphrase of the Message, titles this psalm "A prayer of one whose life is falling to pieces, and who lets God know just how bad it is." Let me just read you a couple of verses again from that psalm. The psalmist writes, "For my days vanish like smoke, and my bones burn like a furnace. My heart is afflicted, withered like grass. I even forget to eat my food because of the sound of my groaning. My flesh sticks to my bones. I'm like a desert owl, like an owl among the ruins." Some of you know that place of just despair, that you forget to eat. I'm not in that place, but it makes me wonder what place was the psalmist in to write those words. It is such a gift that the scriptures include prayers like this. And this isn't the only one, that we are invited to be so honest with God about our discouragement, about our questions, about our anger, even what we see happening in the world. It helps gives voice to that. And even if, as I've said before, even if you're not in this place, as you pray a prayer like this, you know people that are, and so you can pray it on their behalf. But the psalm doesn't just end there. And this is what I think is beautiful about this particular psalm. The psalmist, as despairing as he is, does not forget that the Lord is still sovereign, that God is still on the throne of this world. I love the way the psalm ends, again, just from the last couple of verses here. "Long ago, Lord, you established the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hand. They will perish, but you will endure. All of them will wear out like clothing. You will change them like a garment, and they will pass away. But you are the same, and your years never end. Your servants' children will dwell securely, and their offspring will be established before you." Nothing that we see in the world today or any time in history has shaken God. God is above it all. It doesn't worry God. God grieves our world. He has great compassion, but it doesn't shake the fact that he is the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow. And I love the tension that's in this psalm, the recognizing our despair and frustration and sadness, but also in the same breath recognizing God's sovereignty and God's faithfulness and God's promise to restore all things in time. This is hard for me. I'll just be honest. I sometimes will take things on my shoulders as if it's my responsibility. And it's such a good thing to be reminded that we have a good Father in heaven who loves us and who is working out his purposes, and that it's not on our shoulders, that God is the one who is sovereign. So I hope you'll take some time in the psalm and make it your own prayer. Pray it for other people that you might know. One other thing is just, I would encourage you, we were talking about this with our deacons yesterday, that pay attention to the people that God brings to your mind these days. There are lots of people who are struggling feeling isolated, alone, discouraged. And I think it's not by accident that sometimes God will bring someone to mind. And when that happens, particularly here in the church, reach out to that person. You may not even know why. Just give them a call and say, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? How are things for you? I've been trying to do that myself, and usually I make those phone calls, and it was good that I did. And so let's keep looking out for each other and praying for each other, but just pay attention to those names and faces that pop into your mind. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching this, I just pray that you are living today with a deep sense of God's love for you, your Father's love for you, and the peace of Christ that is over you, and the Holy Spirit, the fellowship that binds us together, even when we're not physically together. Peace.